We'll start the session with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraah Stirairangaihi Stuštuvagum Sastunovihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaah Swasti नस्ताक्षोररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. First of all, I would like to wish you all of you a very happy New Year, a healthy New Year, and a prosperous New Year. We invoke the grace of the Lord to start the Shankara Bhashyam on Mandukya Upanishad. And this Upanishad is a very great Upanishad because it deals directly with our experience, with our Anubhava Pramanam. The sessions will go in the following order. First, for the 1 hour and 15 minutes, I will talk on the Bhashyam. And then for 15 minutes, there will be a meditation session on Vivek Chudamani mantras. And after that, there will be a Q&A where you can ask questions related to Vedanta. There are several people who have registered for this course. There are some very serious seekers, very advanced seekers. There are some seekers who are beginners. And there are some seekers who have done a couple of Upanishads. They're also attending this session. My advice to all of you would be consistent, attend all the sessions, and see that there will definitely be a benefit at the end. Even if you're a beginner, doesn't matter. I will make things as simple as possible so that all of us can understand. Though for beginners, I always advise do Tattva Bodha, the 5 sessions which are recorded and which is available in my website. And also when you ask them, I have already sent to all the beginners. In case you have not received it, please write to us. We will send you the 5 sessions of Tattva Bodha, because that is the basis on which the entire Upanishad is developed. Before I go into the Mandukya Upanishad today, I will give you a synopsis of the Upanishads in general. What are the Upanishads and what do they contain? And how do I study them? The first Upanishad which is recommended for many seekers is Kaivalya Upanishad or Keno Upanishad. Kaivalya Upanishad is from Atharvana Veda. It's a small, minor Upanishad with 25 mantras. Therefore, the prayer which comes into that is Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah. The Acharya there is Chaturmukha Brahmaji, the creator of this universe. The student is a very great Rishi, Ashvalayana Rishi. The method of revelation of the self in Kaivalya Upanishad is the same as in Mandukya Upanishad. It follows the style of Avasthatraya Viveka. Mandukya Upanishad asks us to analyze our three states of experiences: waking, dream, sleep. In 25 mantras, this Kaivalya Upanishad gives us the gist of Mandukya. It goes through the same. It says that if you follow the three states of experiences, there is something common in all of them. That common element is your real nature. That common element is Chaitanyam, consciousness. The 19th mantra of Kaivalya Upanishad is extremely important, apart from the ones which are shown here. 19th mantra. Mayeva sakalam jatam, Mai sarvam pratishtitam, Mai sarvam layam yati. That mantra is extremely popular because it says that this consciousness, which is the self, is the basis for the rise of the waking state, for the sustenance of the waking state, and for the resolution of the waking state. Just one mantra, if you can meditate on this, you will know what is your real nature. So that is about Kaivalya Upanishad. Second is Mandukya Upanishad. In brief, it consists of 12 mantras. It is the shortest of all the Upanishads. It is also from Atharvana Veda. But the beauty of Mandukya Upanishad is that it can generate a lot of doubts because it is very, very terse. The 12 mantras have got the hidden meaning of ourself. This is the only Upanishad where you find two commentaries, one by Shankaracharya and the second by his grand guru, Gaudapadacharya. There is no other Upanishad like this. So what we are trying to understand is something which has been analyzed by Shankaracharya's guru's guru, Gaudapadacharya. He has written 215 verses, a commentary on the 12 verses. What we are studying is on those 215 verses and the 12 verses, what Shankaracharya has commented. So can you see how deep is this science? Very deep, extremely deep, and it is extremely interesting. But requires a lot of patience, and when you reach the end, you will be satisfied. So this Mandukya uses Avasthatraya Viveka, the analysis of three states of experiences. It uses Omkara as a symbol to understand the self. Omkara is a very powerful mantra, and this Upanishad itself uses Omkara. It gives you a completely new meaning of Omkara to newcomers, which we have. You see, if you don't come to the Upanishads, you will never see the essence of the meaning of Omkara. We all chant Om, but we don't know what is the essence behind it. In this Upanishad, the 7th mantra, Na anta prajnam na bahish prajnam, that mantra is very, very famous. That mantra, if you meditate on it, you will get the real knowledge about your own nature. Third Upanishad is Mundaka Upanishad, also from Atharvana Veda. 65 mantras are there, 3 chapters are there, and there are 6 sections for these 65 verses. Angiras is the teacher, and Shaunaka is the student. Mundaka has several mantras. I've given some important mantras here. Mundaka Upanishad uses Aksharam Brahma as the Karanam. So it focuses on the Karanam for this universe, the cause of this universe. And what it says is, if you know the Karanam, then everything in the Karyam, which is an effect, you will come to realize. Karanam is Chetanam, is consciousness. It is not Jadam. So if you know the consciousness, which is the basis of this whole universe, whatever is the multiplicity which you see, the plurality which you see in the universe, you can understand, because everything is born out of this Karana. Very beautiful Upanishad, which talks about Karanam. The main focus there is Aksharam. Aksharam means imperishable. From that one word, you can develop the entire Upanishad of 65 verses. Prashno Upanishad, the fourth one. This is a question and answer Upanishad, where there are 6 disciples and there is one teacher called Pippalada. And then in this Upanishad, the fundamental revelation of the self comes again by Avastatraya Viveka. What happens is, the question which is asked in the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, all those verses are, basically it asks the question, what is it which is awake during the sleep state? Very brilliant question. Who is awake in the sleep state? What is the nature of that entity which is awake? Very, very beautiful section. Again, if you understand that aspect of our nature, you will come to realize my nature is Chaitanya, consciousness. All the Upanishads have got one agenda. This is what is described in Brahma Sutra. In the first 4 sutras of Brahma Sutra, they analyze all the Upanishad and then they ask the question, what is the central message of the Upanishads? In Brahma Sutra, which is an advanced text, which is normally done after the Upanishadic study. Samanvaya Dhyaya in Brahma Sutra, there is the first 4 sutras are extremely important. It says that all the Upanishads have got only one message. The message is, my nature is consciousness. It is Satyam. Whatever I experience, including my body, mind, thoughts, the world, the entire sense objects which are the sense organs are experiencing, they are all of a lower order of reality. Vedanta is the only philosophy which gives this 2 realities. One is a higher reality and second is the lower reality. The higher reality is Paramarthika Satyam. The lower reality is Vyavaharika Satya. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Christianity, all religions, they believe only in one reality, which is the Vyavaharika Satya, transactional reality. Vedanta is the only philosophy which says if you want to know yourself, try to know what is beyond the body, beyond the mind, transcend the body, mind, and the world. And when you do that, what happens is there is an understanding, like, for example, the dreamer and the waker. Waker is of a higher order of reality. Dreamer is of a lower order of reality. So we say the dream world is mithya, appearance, and the waking world is satyam. What Vedanta says is that there is another layer which is above the waking state, and that is called as Paramarthika Satyam. That is the beauty of Vedanta. There is no contradiction between the higher order and the lower order. In the lower order, there can be Dvaitam, there can be plurality. But in the higher order, there is Advaitam. Advaitam means there is one alone. That is what is explained in Prashnopanishad. Kathopanishad, the fifth Upanishad. See, all these Upanishads are trying to tell us who am I. Kathopanishad is so beautiful because it is the Lord of Death who is explaining this universe and explaining to us what is my nature. Nachiketa is the student. Yamadharmaraja is the teacher. Who else can be a better teacher than Yamadharmaraja? To teach us fearlessness. Just follow Kathopanishad and you will remove fear from yourself completely. Very, very beautiful, with very beautifully explained mantras in Kathopanishad. 119 mantras divided into three vallis, three chapters. Here, Sahana Bhavatu is the prayer. In each of these Upanishads, in different Vedas, you will get different prayers, the starting prayers. And generally in one Veda, if it is repeated, for example, Kathopanishad and Taittiriyopanishad, they have the similar prayers. In the above Atharvana Vedas, you saw Bhadram Karne Vishruniyama Devaha. So what is the essence of Kathopanishad? As 8-year-old boy is asking Yamadharmaraja, the Lord of Death, is there something after the death of the body? Some say there is something. Some say there is nothing. Now you are the Lord of death itself. Explain to me what is there after death. Anyatra dharma, anyatra adharma, anyatra krita kritasya. Between time and timeless, is there anything beyond that? And then Lord Yama gives a beautiful explanation. Etat vaitat, etat vaitat. 11 times, 12 times he repeats. Oh Nachiketa, this is exactly what you wanted to know. Listen to me. This is what you wanted to know. Listen to me. Very beautiful Upanishad. Next Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. It comes also as a part of Krishna Yajurveda with 52 mantras and divided into 3 chapters. The second chapter is the most important in Taittiriya Upanishad. And again, that Upanishad uses the definition of Atma which is given in Tattva Bodha. What is the definition of Atma Tattva Bodha? That which is not the three Sharirams, that which is beyond the Panchakoshas, that which is beyond the three Avasthas is your real self. Taittiriya Upanishad uses Panchakosha as the foundation to teach who am I. I am not the physical body, I am not the prana, I am not the mind, I am not the buddhi, I am not the happiness which I enjoy time to time, but I am the adhishtanam, the karanam, which is Brahman. Brahmavida apnoti param yadesham yuktam. The first verse of second chapter is the most important verse in this Taittiriya Upanishad. What lies, from where does the world come? It comes from Brahman. So Brahman or the self or Atma, all these are synonymous. They all refer to the same entity. It is this entity from where the universe consisting of Panchabhutas, they rise, they rest, and then they resolve. Exactly like in Kaivalya Upanishad, Mayyeva Sakalam Jatam, similar idea is floated in Taittiriya Upanishad. The second chapter, the first chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad is just a preparation. All the values you should develop before study of Upanishads. The second chapter consisting of 9 anuvakas, 9 sections with with various mantras, 2-3 mantras in each section, gives the description of the self as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Satyam means it always exists. There is no death of the self. Jnanam means it is the nature of consciousness. Anantam means it is infinite. Infinite means time cannot affect it. Space cannot affect it. Like the dream world cannot affect the waker. Similarly, the waker's world cannot affect the self, cannot affect the Atma. So Atma is free from all events which can happen in the world. Therefore, we say, I am eternal. If you refer to the consciousness aspect of our real nature, we can say, I am eternal, you are eternal. That is Taittiriya Upanishad. Again, a beautiful Upanishad because it directly takes our experience of Panchakoshas, the 5 sheets, like the 5 dresses which Atma wears every day to experience the world. If I am the Atma, why do I experience the world? That may be a question you all will have. The reason the reason which the Veda tells us is the experienced world of Vyavahara is as per the Prarabdha Karma. Whereas your real nature, which is not at all affected by the body-mind experiences of the world, that is the Satyam. That is the truth. That is the goal for all our study of Upanishads. Ishavasya Upanishad, again a very small Upanishad, 18 mantras, Shukla Yajurveda. Yajurveda has got 2 portions. The first portion is Krishna Yajurveda. There are 2 Upanishads. Then you come to Shukla Yajurveda, another form of the same Veda, but they have different schools, shakhas. They take the route slightly different than the Krishna Yajurveda. Ishavasya very important prayer there is Purnamadha Purnamidam. That is what we chant every time at the end of our sessions also. We chant this mantra, Purnamada Purnamidam. That is the prayer for that Ishavasya Upanishad. And the seventh and eighth mantra is important in that Upanishad, but it is a slightly difficult Upanishad because it has got contradictory terms. The terminology used in Ishavasya is slightly contradictory. Therefore, it is slightly difficult. Beginners should not attempt Ishavasya. You should go to other Upanishads like Kaivalya. Kaivalya is a very simple Upanishad. Then we come to Taittiriya and come to Mandukya, you will find a lot of clarity. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the biggest Upanishad, I would not say biggest, it is one of the biggest Upanishads, which is 434 verses. Bulky, voluminous Upanishad, but very deep in thoughts. Shankaracharya borrows in Mandukya Upanishad alone, he borrows hundreds of verses from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. See, the beauty of Shankaracharya is he quotes other Upanishad to explain the verses of Mandukya. You will see that. When we come to the Bhashyam, you will start enjoying the Bhashyam because he quotes the other Upanishads with a similar idea. And in this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the most important aspect of Brihadaranyaka is, it is the pramanam for the higher reality and the lower reality. See, Advaitam, I told you just now, is the only philosophy which has got two orders of reality. Like the waker and the dreamer and the sleeper, they are different orders of reality. Similarly, Atma is a higher order of reality. And the Pramanam, the source of knowledge for that comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is a very important point in Vedanta to understand this, to understand this aspect of two realities. The moment you understand this higher order of reality and the lower order of reality, you will get a lot of doubts cleared. See, what happens when we listen to the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, is when you come to chapter 13, 14, 15 of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna uses the Vedantic philosophy to reveal to Arjuna the truth behind his nature. But to understand that in a deep manner, you need the knowledge of the Upanishads. After study of Gita, when you come to Upanishads, you will see that you are able to enjoy the Gita verses much more deeper. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Purnamada is the same prayer, and there are 6 chapters in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad with 434 mantras. In my website, you will find Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has been taken up, important sections, and so on. Yajnavalkya is the teacher, and the teaching there is Aham Brahma Asmi. King Janaka is the student. Janaka was a king, but he was so much interested in the philosophy of Vedanta. In spite of running his kingdom, he got moksha from Yajnavalkya. This Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, a very famous Mahavakyam comes there, Aham Brahma Asmi. Very, very famous. And this is used by all seekers in their seat of meditation after the knowledge of Upanishads to meditate on. This is a nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means to get conviction that I am of the nature of consciousness. I meditate that with this Mahavakya. Chandogya Upanishad, the ninth Upanishad, is the biggest. 627 verses, 8 chapters in Chandogya. Chapters 6 and 7 are very, very famous. 6th chapter is the Tattvamasi chapter. 7th chapter is Bhuma Vidya. And the 8th chapter is Prajapati Vidya. Very interesting. Again, Shankaracharya quotes so many verses from Chandogya in Mandukya. Tattvamasi is the Mahavakyam. 9 times the teacher tells the student Shvetaketu. Uddalaka is the teacher, Shvetaketu is the student, the son. And 9 times with different examples, the teacher says, you are the Karanam and body-mind universe is the Karya. Again, this Upanishad uses Karanam Karya. Mandukya is the only Upanishad among all these Upanishads which goes beyond Karanam and Karyam and says you are that. All other Upanishads focus on the Karanam aspect. I will tell you the difference when we are doing the mantra number 7 of Mandukya. But Chandogya Upanishad has got Apyayantu Mamangani as the prayer. 8 chapters. The 10th Upanishad is Keno Upanishad. Very simple Upanishad, but very, very deep in its meaning. Keno Upanishad comes from Samaveda. Chandogya also comes from Samaveda. 35, I have already finished Keno Upanishad in my series of talks on Saturdays. Right now, I'm doing Taittiriya Upanishad on Saturdays. I finished Mandukya Upanishad, I finished Keno Upanishad and Kaivalya Upanishad. All the videos are available in the website and in my class folders. Keno Upanishad, the mantra which reveals the self is, what is that power behind my eyes, behind my tongue, behind my ears, behind my mind? What is that power? In a bulb, you have electricity. Electricity is the power. But in this body, what is that power which enables the sense organs to move towards the sense objects and experience the sense objects? That power is Atma. See how in every Upanishad we are talking about Atma, 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 the self. This self is common between the individual body and the total universe in the Vyashti and Samashti. 11th Upanishad is Aitareya Upanishad. Prajnanam Brahma comes in this as a Mahavakya. Consciousness is Brahman. That is the Mahavakya. 33 verses, broken up into 3 chapters, and it is from Rig Veda. Okay, so that is again an Upanishad. In the end, 3rd chapter only, the Mahavakyam comes, and it's it tells us that behind our mind is inert by nature. All thoughts are jada by nature. But what powers and what reveals these thoughts? It is consciousness. There is a huge paragraph in the 3rd chapter. It says, your faculties of emotions, all the intellectual faculties are revealed by the light, the spiritual light, which is called as Prajnanam. That is the 11th Upanishad. The last Upanishad which I have taken here is Svetashvatara Upanishad. Comes also from Krishna Yajurveda, 113 verses. There are 6 chapters. Purnamada, like we have the other, like the other Upanishad, that is the prayer. Say the sage Svetashvatara is the teacher. Okay. Now, if you total up all these mantras, I may be wrong, but this is what I gathered. 1,800 verses are there trying to reveal to me who am I. You can see the amount of this. This is just a sample of 108 Upanishadic literature which is available in print form. It is available. You can go to 108 Upanishad and take down verses, number of verses in each of those verses. This is just a sample. What it says is all these 108 Upanishads have one goal, and that goal is to reveal the Atma in me, the self in me. It is not the body, it is not the mind, it is not the intellect, because those are all vyavahara, which I all know, which we all know. The world of sense objects, we all know. That is not the object which is revealed by Upanishads. It is Chaitanya. There is something called, which is a very unique thing. Sense organs cannot reveal it. Mind cannot reveal it. But Upanishad is a pramanam to reveal this Atma. Normally, Prasthanatrayam means 3 things. Number 1, Bhagavad Gita consisting of 701 verses. Number 2, Upanishads consisting of 1,815 verses. Brahma Sutra, which consists of 550 verses. If you are a spiritual seeker, this is the journey you have to take. First, you have to study Tattvabodha, Atmabodha. These are the preliminary texts. After that, you graduate to Bhagavad Gita. After that, you graduate to Upanishads. And then last is the Brahma Sutra, with a total of 3,000 verses. In my website, almost all of these verses are covered, and some notes are available. If you're a seeker, you can go to the website and see for yourself. This is a bird's eye view of Upanishads. Mandukya Upanishad is a very, very special Upanishad. This slide tells you the split of all these verses, all these basic Prasthanatrayam, especially for beginners who do not know anything. It will be very useful to have this chart so that they remember what is this spiritual journey. Shankara Bhashyam is a commentary not available for Kaivalya and Svetashvatara Upanishad. For Dasa Upanishad, Shankara Bhashyam is available. When we study Upanishad, first the Guru tells us just to study the verses and the meanings. Then the Guru tells us, study the Bhashyam. Bhashyam study, that means a commentary of Shankaracharya, is extremely unique. I have not seen anything as unique as the study of Bhashyams. That is why I've started taking sessions on Bhashyams. I'm doing Taittiriya Bhashyam on Saturdays. I'm now started Mandukya Bhashyam. So I find the depth of knowledge which you get from a Bhashyam is something very profound. You can't get this depth in any other texts, but only in Bhashyams. Bhashyams means Shankaracharya's commentaries. Okay, I have given you Upanishad summary. Now I'll give you what is Mandukya Upanishad, a little bit of a bird's eye view. 12 mantras, 215 karikas, divided into 4 chapters. Shankaracharya, in his own commentary, will talk about introduction to all the 4 chapters. But before we enter into his commentary, I want to just give you what are these 4 chapters. The first chapter is the most important chapter. 12 mantras of the Upanishads are given, and they describe to me that beyond the 3 states of my experience of waking, dream, and sleep, there is a 4th state. When you compare with the 3 states, it is called as the 4th state. Shankaracharya will later on say it is the main state. It is when you look at it from these 3 states, it's called 4th. But when you look at it by alone, it is the ultimate state. Agama Prakaranam. Agama means Upanishads. Vaitatya Prakaranam is the 2nd chapter. So in the first chapter, you get 12 mantras and then 29 commentary mantras by Gaudapadacharya. 2nd chapter is Vaitatya Prakaranam. The grand guru of Shankaracharya is so intense in his teaching. He takes 2 words out of the 7th mantra and then he writes commentaries, 38 verses and 48 verses in 2 chapters. Prapancho Upashamam is 1 word which comes in the 7th mantra of the Upanishad. He writes 38 verses on 1 word. What does it mean? That the world which we see resolves into Atma. Therefore, the world is unreal, means it is appearing, but it is of a lower order of reality. Then in this chapter, Vaitatya means false. Vaitatya means erroneous. So in this chapter, he says, through Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhava, he proves that the world we experience is of a lower order and I, the self, am of a higher order. Beautiful chapter. When you do the Agama Prakaranam, you get some knowledge, but when you do the Vaitatya and Advaita Prakaranam, you get deeper knowledge. The 3rd chapter is Advaita Prakaranam. Advaitam is the most important section from my point of view because, I mean, it is something completely out of any type of study which you do in all other Upanishads. Here, Shankaracharya focuses on the central philosophy of Vedanta, which he has propounded, which he says that is the central, which is Advaitam. Advaitam means there is only one reality, which is the Paramarthika Satyam. There are no 2 Paramarthika Satyam. There is only one. Whereas in the Vyavaharika world, you get plurality, you get multiplicity, you get Karanam and Karyam, which you can, of the same order of reality. But this Satyam, this self which I am talking about in the Mandukya Upanishad 12 mantras is higher order of reality. It is not at all affected, and it happens to be my nature. How? He explains very beautifully. See, what happens is our intellect always is seeking reason. In Mandukya Karikas, you get the reasoning aspect of Vedanta. There are, in my opinion, there are 25 principles of Vedanta. Like one of the principles I told you is Paramarthika Satyam, Vyavaharika Satyam. Then there are other principles which we will discuss when we are doing these chapters. These 25 principles are explained logically by Shankaracharya. What he says is you can negate all experiences, but you cannot negate yourself. That self is pure existence, pure consciousness, and that is your nature. The last chapter is Alata Shanti with 100 karikas, and he explains to us that our mind is like the torchlight. Thoughts are coming, they're rotating, and they give us an experience which is mithya. See, when a torchlight in a dark room, when you rotate a agarbatti or a torchlight, you get a circle. But the circle, is it real circle? No. As long as you are rotating it, it appears circular. But it is only a dot. It's only a small light. That small light is going round. It is same thing happens in our mind. One small dot of consciousness, when it is rotated with the mind, with the thoughts, through the thoughts, we start experiencing the world. Again, the thoughts resolve into the mind. What remains is just that one dot consciousness. Very beautifully explained. I mean, this is a master stroke by Gaudapadacharya. Master, he's a great master, a great teacher of Vedanta. Without these karikas, we will not be able to understand neither these 12 mantras of Mandukya Upanishad nor other Upanishads also. Like Katha Upanishad, even Bhagavad Gita. There are so many tricky verses in Bhagavad Gita. How do we arrive at the central teaching? Because of Gaudapadacharya and several acharyas in our tradition. So again, in the last chapter, there is a lot of other philosophers which are refuted. Sankhya, Yoga, Sadkaryavada, all those other philosophers are refuted. But why should I study other philosophies? Because only when I study the other philosophies, Advaitam, which is the central philosophy of Shankaracharya and the tradition, that becomes firm. It becomes firm. Nobody can shake that knowledge once I have gathered. So what happens to me finally when I study Upanishad? If you ask this question, initially I don't know anything about Atma. But when I study this Upanishad slowly and I repeat the study again and again, what happens is the mind which was exposed to the world and going externally becomes introvert because of the study. Slowly you will start becoming a little bit introvert, and then you will see that the mind manifests, unmanifests, manifests, unmanifests. But behind the mind, there is a spiritual light, which is Atma, which is what is Upanishad trying to tell me. The moment I am able to quieten the mind a little bit, reduce the number of thoughts, reduce the intensity of thoughts, the frequency of thoughts, the intensity of thoughts, what happens then? I am able to realize what lies beyond the mind. And that is Atma. Study of Upanishad has practical benefits because I am able to face the world after the study of Upanishad. Even while during the study, You will start seeing some benefits in your daily day-to-day life. You'll be able to take better decisions in life. Whatever decisions, each one of us faces life of decisions. Morning to evening, we are only taking decisions in life, in vyavahara, in transactions. If I can make those decisions even 5% better, you'll find the quality of your life will improve. You will start enjoying some peace in your mind, which is beyond description. That is the advantage of the study of Upanishads. All of us, we don't know what is our goal in life, but Veda tells us moksha is the goal of life. What is that moksha? I come to realize when I study Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Sutra. Four goals are dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The first three are very well known to all of us. But moksha, very few know about it and very few realize that. The only way to realize this pure Atma and enjoy life without sorrow, without fear, the only way is the study of Upanishads. Only way. This is Shankaracharya, and all tradition says this. Upanishads also say this. This is, in short, what is Mandukya Upanishad. I've just given these the details here again. The Gaudapada Charya's teachings of Karikas are cryptic. They're short verses, but they are very profound teaching. There are a lot of hidden messages in these Karikas. Karika means verses. I will come to the first mantra in the Bhashya. This is the Shanti mantra of Atharvana Veda, which we have already chanted. I'll just tell you what is the gist of that Shanti mantra. Here, the prayer is of a student, and he says, let me see auspicious things with my eyes. Let me hear the Vedas, which are auspicious, with healthy lips. That means he's praying for a good body, healthy body. Maybe enjoy a full lifetime of 100 years. What a beautiful prayer. That Indra, which is auspicious, may it shower blessings on me. And let me not have any obstacles for my studies. Let the creator of this intellect bless me. Let me get the freedom. What is a freedom? Three types of Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Three Shantis. What are the three freedoms I'm asking? Adi Bhautikam. Adi Bhautikam means from the elemental forces. Adhyatmikam. Adhyatmikam means from the my own doubts. Let me not have doubts. Let me get peace from my own body, in my own mind. Adi Devikam means the natural forces like earthquake, which are tsunami. These are all natural. Like, for example, a thunderstorm. These things, let me be free from. Why? Because I want to study this Upanishad. I want to get the gist of this Upanishad. Beautiful mantra. So, this is the Atharvana Veda prayer. Shankaracharya writes two mantras, Shanti mantras for this Upanishad. In no other Upanishad you find Shankaracharya writing a Shanti mantra for an Upanishad. Mangala Dhyana Shlokas, which summarize Mandukya Upanishad. Okay. Now, before I go into those two verses, I just want to tell you in short what are the references, because we are studying Upanishad. Sometimes many people come and ask me, what books, what should I study? What is the basis of this book, this notes which you are preparing? Mandukya Upanishad, if you want to study the Karika, Swami Chinmayananda has written a very beautiful book. It is available in the Chinmaya Mission Trust online shop. I have given you the details in the notes. This is the online shop. You can go and buy a book. Mandukya, so that is one of the primary books. But that will give you a gist. It is not the Bhashyam. The second one which I have referred is Mandukya Upanishad Sanskrit. It is completely in Sanskrit. The first one is in English and Sanskrit. Many of you who are listening first time, I recommend the first one. The second one is Sanskrit on Bhashyam. That means all the verses which are being explained are taken from this book. It is from Gita Press. Also, online shop is available. And the verses which are there and the explanation is in Hindi. So those of you who know Hindi, you will find this book useful. If you want to study word by word if you are very serious, you should buy this book, but you must know Hindi or Sanskrit. The chanting which I'm going to use, many of you who joined today in the beginning, you might have heard a chanting of the 12 mantras. So one of the class students here, Mrs. Vijaya Gosla, she lives in Texas. She has chanted the 12 mantras and all the karikas. She has chanted almost the first and second chapter. She has completed. She's now doing the third chapter. So every karika, every verse which we use in our study will be chanted by Vijaya Khosla. The audio for that has been sent to you by WhatsApp. In case you want to learn chanting of the 12 mantras and the karikas, that is a useful tool. Mandukya Upanishad, I have sent you the notes. There are 2-volume notes which I have sent to you. That is what primarily I'll be using for my classes. Besides this, I have got 2 other types of notes. One is called as highlight notes. Another is called as the final teaching notes. These are additional notes. It is just a summary of the class notes. Okay, these are some, again, the links are given, but don't bother about it. I think the first thing you should try to do is the class notes. If you attend the sessions and you go through the class notes, then you attempt the highlights and the final teaching, you'll enjoy the complete picture of Mandukya. So these are some of the references, and the book, my class notes, 2 volumes are there, which I have shared with you in the WhatsApp. In the website, I have got 6 or 7 volumes. I have finished notes on the first chapter completely. It is there on the website. In the website, you will find second chapter also. I have just started. You will find very soon the notes for the second chapter. In the WhatsApp, I have also shared to you the Bhashyam of Shankaracharya and the verses. Because many people, they want, after going through these classes, they want to just see what Shankaracharya has wrote. So I thought it will be useful to the seekers if they get only the bhashya in English translation so that you can follow it up whenever you want. So it is that is another thing which I have shared with you in the WhatsApp group. So there are a lot of tools which are available in our study, and as we grow, as we go forward, you will find them very useful. Especially the Shankara Bhashyam and the notes. It has taken a long time for me to compile them and arrange them in an order so that it becomes a useful tool for study. Mangala Shlokas. There are two Mangala Shlokas. Let me just play the first Mangala Shloka and then see the meaning.
Prajnanam Shupratanaihi Sthiracharanikara Prajnanam Supratanaihi Sthiracharanikara Vyapibhirvyapya lokan Vyapibhirvyapya lokan Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan punarapi Bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan punarapi Dhishanodbhasitan kamajanyan Dhishanodbhasitan kamajanyan Pītva sarvan viseshan swapiti Pītva sarvan viseshan swapiti Madhurabhrang mayaya bhojayannaha Madhurabhrang mayaya bhojayannaha Maya sankhyaturiyam paramamritamajam Maya sankhyaturiyam paramamritamajam Brahmayatannatosmi Brahmayatannatosmi.
There is an anvaya which has been given. Anvaya means how do I break it up grammatically, these Sanskrit words. For those Sanskrit and you want to study in depth, you can go through the anvaya portion and understand the deeper significance of the verses. In every verse, at the end, I will be giving you the anvaya. That means grammatically, how do I understand this mantra? What is the gist behind this mantra? The first Mangala Shloka of Mandukya Upanishad. See, like I said, Shankaracharya has given this Shanti mantra, written the Shanti mantra himself based on the Mandukya Upanishad. The teaching which he has absorbed, the gist of the teaching he has given out here. That pure Atma, which during the waking state, what does it experience? Sense objects. So who is the experiencer? Ultimate experiencer is what? Atma. And how does it experience? By pervading the entire universe. Universe consists of both movable and immovable objects. Movable means, for example, human beings, animals, birds, these are all movable. Sthira means immovable. Mountains, these are sthira. So during the waking state, that pure consciousness, Atma, experiences all this. Then what happens? It comes to the dream state. In the dream state, the same consciousness experiences subtle bodies, which are vasanas. They are all generated because of the because of the projections which are there in the mind. During the waking state, what happens? I experience. It is like a camera. I experience, but then I click some of those experiences and it retains in my mind. They are called as samskaras. They are projected in the dream. Then what happens? This is the second stage of of what? Atma. That Atma experiences the waking state, it experiences the dream state. Then what happens? It comes to the sleep state. In the deep sleep state, it rests. And how do these three states come? They come because of the power of Maya. Maya is the Shakti. All these three states come and go in Atma. That Atma is called as Turiyam. See, the whole gist of Mandukya, he capitalizes in this one mantra. He says that Turiyam, that pure consciousness, is called forth as a number, as a name, but it is the ultimate reality. Paramam. Paramam means what? Absolute. There is nothing beyond that. This is the higher reality. In that higher reality, all this waking, dream, and sleep is coming and going, appearing, disappearing. Because, how does it appear and disappear? Because of the Shakti. Shakti means power. So in this body, all of our bodies, there is a power. That power is what I have to realize. I have to go beyond that power to that pure consciousness, Turiyam. And that Turiyam, that pure Chaitanyam, is immortal. See, this is the ultimate goal. That goal Shankaracharya wants to say it right in the beginning in the Shanti Mantra. What a beautiful way to, what a beautiful teacher he is. This Turiyam, this consciousness, this Atma is not subject to death, deathless. Amrita, Ajam, Ajam means unborn. I salute that Turiya Atma. That is the meaning of the first shloka, the Shanti Mantra. There are two slokas. I offer salutation to that absolute entity, which is the subject matter of all Upanishads and the Karika of Mandukya. It is, Turiyam is what? Turiyam is just a name. It is a name of some entity which I don't know today. That I don't know, but I will come to know when I study the Mandukya. What is the nature of that? It is param. It is absolutely real. Real means what? It remains in three periods of time. It remained, it was there in the past, it is there now, it will remain in the future. Suppose I come to know this entity and I say that I am that entity, what will happen to me? I also become Amritam. I become immortal. I become deathless. I become sorrowless, samsara-less. This is the methodology of the teaching. This Turiyam, this pure spiritual light is birthless. It alone appears as this Vyavaharika. Waker alone appears as the dreamer and the dream world. Atma or Brahman or Turiyam alone appears as this entire transactional world, with so many jivas. And it is this pure consciousness, Chaitanyam, which forms reflections in the mind of the jiva as the Chid Abhasa. And it is this reflection which is called as the ego, ahamkara. This ahamkara ego becomes the waker, it becomes the dreamer, it becomes the deep sleeper. Okay? So, what is the salutation? The salutation is to that higher principle, Paramarthika Satyam, which is called as Turiyam, which is appearing as the waker, dreamer, and sleeper. Why does it appear? Because of the prarabdha karma of the jivas. But the jiva who is an ahamkara, what he has to do, he has to drop the identification through understanding only. Not physically dropping, only understanding. While living, you can just drop your identification. How do you drop it? By saying aham turiyam asmi. Okay? By saying this, what happens to you? You try to drop the identification slowly. Gradually, what will happen? Your identification of the body mind will become less and less. And you will start saying, and you will start in your deep subconscious mind, you will start having a conviction that I am that pure self. This transformation happens when you study Upanishads. Because Upanishad is a pramana. It is a source of knowledge. Eyes are a source of knowledge for what? Form and color. Ears are the source of knowledge for what? Sound. For the spiritual light in us, what is the source of knowledge? Mandukya Upanishad. So Shanti Mantra of Shankaracharya salutes, it surrenders to this Turiyam as the ultimate reality. Second mantra, okay, let me take the second mantra next week. We'll start with this second mantra next week. And because the time is up, it's almost 1 hour, 15 minutes. So we will end the portion of Mandukya study now. And next week, we will start with the Mangala Shloka. This particular slide number 17, we will start next week. For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to continue because there are a lot of students who have come from the Wednesday sessions. They have joined this class. During the Wednesday sessions, I used to take meditation. They have requested me for a meditation now for about 15 minutes. If you want to join, you can join. If you have questions, you can wait and then ask the questions and participate in the Q&A. It will take about 15 minutes. I will stop in about 15 minutes, and then we are going to open up for Q&A. The Q&A, you can post your questions on the chat box, and then I will take up those questions first, and whether it is on the methodology of the study and our sessions, whether it is on anything which we have discussed on Upanishads today, you can post your questions. So with this, I close the first session of Mandukya Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now we will see the chat box if there are any questions. Okay, there are some Sanskrit. Okay, is there a book that gives Sanskrit mantra and explanation in English? No, there is no book which gives that. But I have got, I've given you the Sanskrit mantra and the English translation in one of the attachments. In today's WhatsApp or in the email, Shanta, you might have received this. If you've not received it, let me know. I will send you the mantra and the English translation. Like today, for example, we did the Shanti Mantra one, and then there was a English translation. So this is what is available. So you can use this book. You can print it and you can bind it and keep it as a reference point, because that is what we will be using it throughout our sessions. There are 215 or something. There are about 200 verses of translations of Shankaracharya's Bhashyam for the first chapter, which is what I have sent today. So you can have a look at it. If you don't find it, please write to me. I will send you the book. You are asking mantra and Hindi translation. Okay, in the book of Gita Press, you will get the Sanskrit shlokas, Shankaracharya's Bhashyam on the left-hand side, and in Hindi, you will find the translation of that Bhashyam. That book is available. That is from Gita Press. Very, very nice book. That is the book which I am following for my notes. So what is generally you will find is the translation in English in my notes. But that is the book. If you understand Hindi, it'll be very nice. Have a look at it. I can even show you the book I can send you some picture of the book if you want to buy it. Very cheap. It's only about 20-30 rupees. But Gita Press is great. It promotes Shankara Bhashyam is available for those who want to study Shankara Bhashyam. You order the full set of Bhashyams, which is there. It costs maybe $10 or £2-3. That's all. You can order from Gita Press and buy all the Bhashyams and keep it so that you can study it slowly. Okay, Chinmay Mission, yes, is there. Is ego and Chidabhasa the same? Yes. Ego is nothing but Chid Abhasa plus the mind. What is the meaning of Chid Abhasa? Chid Abhasa means it is a reflected consciousness. So ego is not, it is just not only the reflected consciousness. You should remember, ego is reflected consciousness plus the mind. You can never experience ego by itself. That means you can never experience mind alone at any time. You can only experience together with the light of consciousness. All our experiences are always with the light of consciousness. So the word ego, ahankara, is a combination of it is called as a small I by Swami Chinmayananda. He says the small I is the reflected consciousness and the mind. Without the mind, there is no experience at all. Okay. When today's class will be available for revision on our website? Okay. I'll be posting the within now, because there is Pongal holidays in Chennai. I have a couple of colleagues who does the recording and the transmission of these recordings. Within this time, probably you will get the recording of today's talk probably on Thursday, because there is a holiday, Monday, Tuesday holiday is there. Wednesday or Thursday, you'll get the recording. For those who have, there are many seekers who have asked for recordings. So those who have asked for recordings by email, I'll be sending through email. But for those who are attending and who are getting the WhatsApp messages in the group, in the broadcast group where you got the link today, in that I will be posting the video of the talk. You can also see it in the YouTube later on if you're interested. Learning Sanskrit to get actual text. Okay, so Swami Nikhilananda book is also available. Yes, that's correct. So plenty of study material is available, but my advice is don't miss the sessions. Don't miss these classes, because in these sessions you will get clarity. You can read the books, but the clarity and the depth you will get through sessions, through these teaching sessions. And there is nothing in the entire spiritual study which matches the effectiveness of Mandukya. I have gone through many Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, but I'm convinced that the study of Mandukya Upanishad is the best. But it takes time. It is sometimes you'll find it difficult, but if you keep listening and listening again and again, you will definitely find that you are able to understand. Understanding is the only thing required when you do this type of study. Only clear understanding. That is why I was telling you there are 25 principles of Vedanta which will be taught during this study. If you understand those principles, Veda, Upanishads is very easy. Bhagavad Gita becomes very easy. So many mantras in the Bhagavad Gita are tricky verses, but all those verses, they will make sense to you the moment you study Mandukya Upanishad. So there is question answer session. You can ask any type of questions, and I have also asked some of the students who are attending these sessions whether they want to help during these sessions. Some of you have said, yes, I want to help. Now, what I would like to do is, probably in the next 1-2 weeks, you can think about it. There are some seekers here who are very advanced seekers. There are some seekers in this group. Say today there are 40-45 people who are here. And also there are people who are offline, who are also there. There are some seekers who are beginners. Now, because of my website, there are many seekers who come to the website and they say they are beginners, but the problem is they can't attend these classes sometimes. So I want some help from some of you, maybe whoever is ready to help, to take some sessions for beginners, become a mentor for some beginners. So if you are interested to become a mentor, if you feel that you can teach somebody Tattva Bodha or Atma Bodha in your spare time, in your own spare time, you can have a session with that person, or you can have a session with 3-4 people also. If you're interested, you'll write to me. I will share the people who have said that they would like to have a mentor. So there are two things. One, if you'd like to help people who want help to teach Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, or even Bhagavad Gita to a small extent, if you want to take Zoom sessions for them, you can write to me. I will form a group. That is one. Second is, those people who are attending, they want help, beginners. You can also write to me and say, yes, I want to have a mentor. So I will try to connect the people who are ready with the people who want to get some help, and try to form a small group and see how that works. Because there are many seekers who come to the Vedanta website. They ask me, they tell me that they are beginners. and they want some coaching on spirituality. So if you want to be a coach, if you want to help someone, please write to me in the Vedanta students website, in the email address, or in the WhatsApp. There is one number I've given you, the India number. Please write to me. I will start forming this group, because this group will help others. And one thing I've noted in my experience is, if you teach somebody, you will become better. See, the clarity you get when you teach someone, you will find there is a tremendous benefit coming to you. It's a punyam. Okay, so that is something which I wanted to share. Guided meditation. There's a question here. You mentioned about spiritual scientists for 2 years. I mean, what it means. Okay, good. See, what I was saying is, uh, normally in my group itself, there are some scientists from different parts of the world. There are some scientists, and what I felt was, yeah, what is a scientist? A scientist is someone who wants to discover something unique, which he wants to understand something unique about his world, which is the objective world. What Vedanta does is, you apply the same principles, what you are trying to be a scientist in the external world, you apply it to your subjective world. So you become a subjective scientist for 2 years. Because this Vedantic Mandukya Upanishad, in my opinion, will probably take 2 years to finish. Complete 4 chapters. It will take probably because we are only doing once a week. In 52 weeks, 100 sessions is minimum required for the 4 chapters, minimum. So what I meant was, keep your, keep whatever you have your own notions, just try to keep it away. Listen clearly to what Mandukya Upanishad is saying about yourself. I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, all that you keep it aside. While studying for the next 2 years, just say that I want to know who I am. I want to know who I am. Keep that question in your heart. And then see how you, as a subjective scientist, studying Mandukya Upanishad, I feel you will reach a goal which you would never have imagined. And the benefit of that is amazing. So the reason why I said 2 years, just be a spiritual scientist, is be a subjective scientist. That is what I meant. Yogesh, I hope I've clarified you. Will we have similar guidance for future sessions? I believe they are immensely useful. Yes. This is my plan, that like today, for the first 1.25 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, we will have the Mandukya study. For 15 minutes, within 15 minutes, I will try to finish one verse of meditation. I've chosen for the next few days, few weeks, you will have Vivek Chodamani. After that, we will take Mandukya. There is a lot of meditation on Mandukya itself, which I want to take it after when we study the Omkara mantras, the mantra number 8 to 12. At that time, I will be taking Mandukya related Vedantic meditation. Okay, so I hope I've clarified all the questions in the chat box. If you have any questions, you can ask me now. So Shanmugam is unmuting all of you. Please come back to me. You can ask your questions if you have anything.
Namaste, Shekharji. It's
Yeah,
Shanta
Shanta,
here.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I think it was a wonderful session. It was, I just enjoyed the entire summary of each of these, Upanishad that you shared, which was quite useful and helpful. It was almost like a recap or, essence of all the Upanishads.
Yeah.
Um, so I do plan to, continue with these, and I'm quite interested. And that is one of the reasons, as I said, that I'm learning Sanskrit to understand the Bhashyams in its original text, so that translations always get lost, because there is, as I learn Sanskrit, I understand that English translation is not always as effective as what the verse says. Um, so in this session, when you speak about this three avastas, right? In Mandukya, we will be looking at the three avastas, and the fourth one is the absolute. Now, uh, I don't know whether I'm trying to be, trying to hit the race line, final line, even only today.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, is this meditation of thinking about you as a Sakshi will give you that Turiam feeling? And then how does it work that once you realize that you are not the body and you are not all this, um, how would one what is the experience one feels? um, I'm quite keen to know, because I'm quite excited to, as I said, reach the finish line even before
Yeah.
I started.
Yeah. See, the way you should understand this is your Vyavaharika world, the transactional world where you are placed today by God, that will not
Mm,
change.
mm,
So the experiences you're undergoing is due to some natural law which is there, which affects all of us. So Dvaitam, which is an experience for all of us, that will not change at all. But what will change is your vision of this whole universe will change. Your vision.
mm.
That means your intellectual vision
Thinking.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, your intellectual thinking of this whole universe will undergo a transformation. When you go through the study of Bhashyams, especially Shankaracharya, he is amazing to give clarity to that intellect. He raises questions, he answers questions. He raises questions, and we are going to go through each one of them. That is the purpose of our current study, because I find that I found it extremely useful. So to answer your question, what happens to you when you go through through this study is you don't get affected by anything in life. Sorrow goes away from your life. It just goes away. There's no sorrow.
Mm,
And you feel that you are very you feel that your mind, which was so heavy, the mind becomes very light. You no
mm,
longer feel the burden of life. Before the study, you've always felt, people are thinking this about me, that about me. You don't worry about it anything. You say that is because what happens to you is, in your own mind, there is a new vision, a new projection of yourself which happens, which means you come to know that I am pure Chaitanya.
mm,
Today's meditation, you asked me, the Sakshi. That Sakshi Bhava means it is it is a vision in myself, in my intellect, about myself and about the world. So when you rise this to this higher level of Sakshi Bhava, when you continue this meditation for some time, and also other meditations slowly when we learn, you will find that your depth of intellect and your understanding of the world around you will change.
mm.
And like I said,
Absolutely.
anything in life will not affect you. Suppose you have some family problems, you have situations at home which are uncontrollable. You don't know how it happened to you, why you are facing these problems. You don't know in business, in your own family life, in your surroundings. You find there are so many problems. But before the study of Mandukya Upanishad and after the study of Mandukya Upanishad, you will find a difference. And that
Thank you.
difference is that the frequency of disturbances, intensity of disturbances will come down. And that transforms your experience of life. You become more peaceful in life. So, all of us, we are seeking peace in our own mind, and that comes because of the knowledge of Atma. There are two things which happen. One is you have to know more and more about this nature of Atma. And the second is you have to drop your identification, I am the body, I am the mind. That is a natural, these are the two parts, these are the two things which happen when you study Upanishads. And naturally it will happen. You don't have to put any effort. Just listen to what Shankaracharya says, and you'll find a transformation.
Yeah, I think in the chat, as Ramesh Murthy has said, will we call it as a Sthita Prajna or Gunatita? Are we going to reach that state when we
That's right. Yes,
when we
that's correct.
get to that Turium feeling? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That is Ramesh, you're right. It is called as Sthita Prajna. What is the meaning of Sthita Prajna? Prajna means what? Consciousness. Sthita means what? It is stable. It is firm. Sthita Prajna means what? I always abide in my real nature as pure consciousness. That is what happens during the study of Upanishads. Good.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste, Kananji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based upon that Sthita Prajna, this is defined in the chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita,
Correct.
verse 254, where Arjuna asks this question.
Yeah.
Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha, sthitadi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim, something like that.
Correct.
And the Lord answers the question in the Shloka 55 and 56. I think that exactly is what you were trying to say.
Yeah,
That's what I
absolutely
felt.
right. Correct. That's correct. Yeah, Ramesh, you're right. Good. I'm glad you're able to relate because that helps a lot. Anybody
Thank
else
you.
has any other question or any other thing about today's session?
Shekharji, Hari Om.
Yeah, Hari Om. Go ahead.
Just really a quick question to the announcement of the class. I knew that it was starting on 14th, but have you got another particular, like not Vedanta, but it should appear on the WhatsApp, isn't it, as something
Yeah,
Mandukya?
yeah, your name should have been there in the WhatsApp group.
It's not there.
Uh,
So that's why I had to inquire from you.
Yeah,
And
can you please send a WhatsApp again with your number? I will ask Shanmugam to add your name number.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. And I'm obviously so looking forward to attending these.
Yeah,
definitely.
please.
What was the book? What was the book you were mentioning, Ray, as a recommendation?
Yeah, you see, there are 2-3 books which I have mentioned. One is if you know Hindi and you know Sanskrit, there is a book by Gita Press.
Okay.
So if you are familiar with Hindi and Sanskrit, please buy that book. It is called Mandukya Bhashyam. It is a book by Gita Press, and you can buy. My suggestion is buy all the books because they cost only 25 rupees, 30 rupees. No, less than a pound. So you buy, if you write to Gita Press, ask them to send you all the, or if you want, you just buy one book of Gita Press, Mandukya Bhashya. So this is a book in Sanskrit and Hindi. So you can easily read the Hindi portion to understand what that mantra is.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So you can go through that. The second is I have in my WhatsApp group today, actually even in email, you should have got it. I have sent an email also of the today's invitation and so on.
So for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what I'm saying is that there is a book which I have compiled, which has got
Uh-huh.
Shankaracharya's mantras in Sanskrit and also a translation in English. That you will find
Okay.
extremely useful. So these are the two books. Plus, there is a Chinmayananda's book on Mandukya Upanishad.
Okay.
You can refer to that. The three books.
But yours one is available on the class
Yeah, it
notes,
is
yeah?
there. I've sent to you. I've sent all today by WhatsApp.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chikaji.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other question or anything else you want to know? Okay, so we will end now, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much, Deepak ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Wednesday, there is no class now.
Thank you.
So next Sunday, same time, yeah?
Wednesday, there is no class now.
No, Wednesday, there's no class, Deepak. Now
Oh,
it's only Saturday and Sunday.
And Saturday at 3:30 and Sunday at 4:30.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
That time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really looking forward for this.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. You'll enjoy this. Deepak, you are so well engrossed in this Mandukya.
Yes.
You'll enjoy this.
Certainly. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.